Hello and welcome to the new edition of Magic of Boot, the football podcast. We're here to talk about football, soccer in North America. There are a lot of international competition or tournament going on, and we are almost on the final phase of those tournaments. We're going to talk about Copa America 2021 that is going to be end very soon in this week or coming weekend. I have with me Shudip Roy as usual. Thank you
Yeah,
for joining.
welcome.
Did you have any chance of watching the Copa America after we talked? I think we talked a little bit, previewed a little bit about the quarterfinals.
Yeah, we talked before quarterfinal,
Yes,
and I actually had the chance to watch the both semifinals and probably two of these quarterfinals
right,
live. Yeah,
right. It's There will be a third place game that is left, and obviously the big finale that is left as well. But before we jump in, is it probably going to be wise if we just review what happened during the quarterfinals just briefly and then move ahead?
yeah, it would be a good idea, I guess.
Yeah, there were some really fun game that had happened. For quarterfinals, the first quarterfinal was a lot of fun between Peru and Paraguay. It was a 3-3 draw. Two red cards, one each for Paraguay and Peru. And then it was decided on the penalties, and Peru winning 4-3 and moving into semifinal. And then the next one was Brazil versus Chile. Brazil winning 1-0, goal from Lucas Paqueta. There was a controversy, or it's not a controversy. It's the one of the highlighting point was sending off of Gabriel Jesus, um, and we'll come back to that tackle and the red card. So Gabriel Jesus got the red card after Brazil scored immediately after second half, and then Brazil winning in and holding on against Chile. Uh, The third quarterfinal was between Uruguay and Colombia, which ended in 0-0, and Colombia winning it in penalties 4-2. And the last quarterfinal was between Argentina and Ecuador, and Argentina winning it 3-0 with one man getting sent off for Ecuador at the very dying moments of the game. On the score sheet, Rodrigo De Paul, Lautaro Martinez, and Lionel Messi himself. And then, yeah, what a bunch of great games, to be honest. Any particular events you want to talk about from Peru and Paraguay?
Well, I didn't have chance to watch the full match.
Okay,
Um, I was coming from work at the time, and yeah, I was checking up the score and the events, and it was it was breathtaking. And at one point, it felt like nobody is going, nobody wants to win,
yeah,
and,
yeah. It
and
was it was a lot of fun. It was end-to-end stuff. I mean, Peru and Paraguay. When you kind of think in a Paraguay and Peru, well, Peru could be a very lucrative side sometimes, especially under Ricardo Gareca. But what surprised me was Paraguay played really their heart out, and they in most. I mean, after four, I think at the stoppage time in the first half, they had a man sent off, their captain,
yeah,
who scored the first goal. And then it was end to end, and it was a brilliant game. To me, it's probably, if not the best game of this, I think it's best game so far that I've seen in Copa America. And unfortunately, it went into penalties. I thought, at that point, I thought, okay, maybe the extra time could have been nice to give a give a team, a little bit of edge. Just to comment on that, the Peru and Paraguay game was officiated by the Uruguayan referee, who is going to be in the final, and he doesn't have very good reputation in South America. So it's albeit surprising that he's going to be in the helm of officiating in the final. Um, yeah, it was a brilliant game to me. To me, it's probably the most entertaining game, and it was brilliant to see both teams going for. Brazil versus Chile. Um, have you watched that game?
Actually, I did. I kind of hope that um, I actually after first goal, I thought Brazil will like
Go
how
more
can I say,
attacking.
yeah, go more attacking because they would have more chance. Instead, I saw like they're holding back and they weren't actually going for the ball, and it 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 didn't seem like a normal Brazilian team or probably like Dunga team or something like this. I don't know. Like it
Yeah, I
feels
mean,
like they're playing this negative football from 2007 or something.
and it didn't look like they're playing in their home soil at all as
No,
well.
not at all. And also like the pitch is like really bad.
Yeah, the
That's
pitch was
what the whole
bad.
tournament. Yeah, yeah. Also there were some unnecessary, how can I say, um, effort.
Wastage time.
Yeah, and yeah. Also like yeah, the match actually it wasn't actually smooth, and
No,
at the very end it was actually like just
very chaotic.
ugly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't actually bear to watch last like 3 minutes.
yeah. I thought about Tite's Brazil. It has a lot of parallel with Dunga's Brazil. I mean, yes, people would say, uh, and people still refer to Brazil as early 2000 Brazil that had, you know, great players such as Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, or even Kaká, and later on Adriano and Roberto Carlos, sort of those attacking players. Those days are gone, and most of the time from then on, there is a. I think it's. I don't know if you can call it as a pragmatism. They can squeeze out a goal and then just wait for to shut it down, everything. And Neymar still has the license to go up. But one good thing about this Brazilian team, what I can see is there is a little bit of partnership going on between Lucas Paqueta and Neymar, and that's
Actually,
yeah,
actually from the Chile game, actually we started uh, like how can I say, observe this partnership, and
exactly.
it's kind of growing. And if they play 1 or 2 more year,
Yeah,
I think it would be a
we'll,
nice
we'll
to watch them
we'll
actually.
definitely come back to that, to this Neymar and Paqueta sort of development. But I'm just rushing a little bit because I don't want to take much time to these
Yeah.
quarterfinals. Uruguay, Colombia, there was almost like Colombian pace looked too much for Uruguayan team. I mean, there's lots of huff and puff from the Uruguayan team there, but there was no end result or any kind of tempo they could have settled, or they couldn't really create anything. It's almost like it technically could be the last full, I mean, as a starter, last Copa America for Edinson Cavani and also Luis Suarez. And it's kind of feel sad that they have got eliminated in the quarterfinals. Although it's penalties, but still they didn't do much on the 90 minutes. Do you want to add anything on that?
Well, actually, I wasn't surprised to see. like see them suffering. We actually talked about this before the
Yeah.
tournament, and there weren't anything new to hold against a young team. Like especially the Colombians have like speedy wingers and wing
Yeah,
backs,
just
and
to mention that Colombia were actually missing Cuadrado on the quarterfinal.
yeah, exactly. He wasn't there, probably because of the cards,
Yeah,
and but still, like the Quadradure, even later on the semifinal, I think we should have a glimpse about
yeah,
the
we'll talk a
yeah,
little bit on that, but I thought
yeah. But
without Cuadrado, I mean, definitely there is a weapon less for Colombia, but still they played really well.
actually, for when I think about this game, actually, it's kind of like how can I say? They turned it to something good because they didn't actually depend on any single player to create something or like passing the ball to Cuadrado or
Right.
wasting those balls. Or they just go for it, went for it. Sorry, and it looked fun actually against Uruguay
Yeah,
and
and that's probably the
Colombia.
last time also we have seen Muriel being used.
Yeah,
Yeah. So next game was Argentina versus Ecuador. It on the score sheet it looks 3-0, but it wasn't really easy for Lionel Messi and Argentina team,
well,
especially in
there's this unbelievable moment from Lionel Messi when he, well, actually, there were two unbelievable moments. One with when he missed the chance
yeah,
in the
very
empty
unlike of
space.
Lionel
Yeah,
Messi.
it's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
impossible. Quite like I couldn't actually believe it for like at least 5 to 10 minutes. But
Yeah,
well,
it was a
it,
gift given to him, and he couldn't
yeah,
catch it.
well, we have seen this thing from Messi, like missing easiest chance but scoring the hardest one on. But
Yes.
it's
What
like
it reminds me of, if you can remember, there was a ball from Biglia in 2014 World Cup, and Messi got the chance, almost
yeah,
similar
I
angle.
remember.
This
Yeah,
time
exactly.
around, this time around, he hit the post, but that time around, I think he missed the post by probably 1 or 2 inch.
Well,
Uh,
me and my friend actually still arguing about this thing, and like
it
my
might be
friend
the
would
angle.
always,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
it might be the angle.
He's a lefty, so it could like
Yeah,
um
it might be the angle. I couldn't understand. And the other part was really funny. The Ecuadorian goalkeeper is actually born in Rosario, Messi's hometown. He's an Argentinian, and his first professional goal he conceded. He used to be a striker. He converted into goalkeeper later on, and he conceded first goal was scored by Lionel Messi, and the last goal also scored by Lionel Messi. So yeah, that's some sort of trivia for you. He he anyway, Argentina moving forward 3-0. Um, for the semifinals, Brazil met Peru, and there was a 1-0 win again, and very identical sort of performance, but this time around, no Gabriel Jesus red card. We didn't actually talk about that red card. What did you think about that red card of Gabriel Jesus against Chile?
actually there is nothing to think about. It's like I don't know. It's like watching a Kung Fu Panda movie or something.
Yes.
But
Uh,
but
I
that's
I
unfortunately
couldn't believe
because
it.
he
I mean, I probably I thought I'm probably seeing something wrong or something. I mean, I couldn't believe it the way he went for that as a professional player. I mean, that doesn't really happen, or you don't see much.
well
Um,
it's not intentional, but still
but still,
like
it's
you have yeah you have some sort of ideas about like players around you, like even from other
well,
teams.
he's lucky that it hit him in the shoulder neck area. But if
Yeah, yeah,
he was
exactly.
like on the respiratory sort of channel, he could have lost consciousness. It could have been dangerous, or could have
Well,
could have done a lot of damage anyway.
Like I, yeah, this week actually I saw a guy collapse in front of me in the subway. So it was like kind of reminder
Yeah,
of the Ericsson incidents, and
right.
like anybody could collapse or anything,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if if
for
it's
sure.
in
But
a
what I was referring to, if his foot wasn't hit on that shoulder or in
yeah,
the side
yeah,
area, if it was on the middle of the neck, that respiratory channel
yeah,
goes
yeah,
in, and he could have out of breath for a moment, and it could have been dangerous. Anyway, Gabriel Jesus was suspended for 2 games, and Neymar is kind of complaining about
yeah.
it.
I saw that comment actually, and well, it's so childish, and I didn't want to like how
Yeah,
can I
no,
say response
definitely.
to
But say, for
yeah.
example, if their Neymar was a recipient of such challenge, he would have moaned it for a year.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, some like in ESPN they were saying he would be still at in the field or
yeah.
like that, like
Anyway, just a little bit of idea about. I do have a tactical bowl ready for that game, Brazil v Peru. I saw that lineup and I thought, okay, I kind of know where Ricardo Guerreiro probably is going because given that Brazil's ability to work in the flanks, especially, and Neymar kind of floats around. Um, I was really surprised to not see uh, Firmino, to be honest.
Mhm.
And it wasn't really very. There was a storm before that goal, and after that goal happened, the goal is basically we are talking about Neymar and um, Neymar's incredible dribbling skill, uh,
Yeah.
as well as I mean, I don't understand a little bit about dropping Firmino because I like Firmino to be honest. I'm a fan of Firmino, and Neymar was found some space on that pocket. I think he was kind of unmarked. Sorry,
Mhm.
just a sec.
Yeah. Actually, before the goal, the Chile players on the right, they were pressing
It's
up.
Peru,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, sorry, Peru's player, um, and the thing is that like when they were pressing up, nobody was maintaining the this line
Yeah,
here, um, and it was like happening. Um, well, you cannot actually stop Neymar with only two players and no one
no,
marked.
no, and
So
you can give him that amount of because he was getting this amount of huge amount of space in here
yeah, exactly.
right around this amount of space without anybody getting close to him. That's asking for trouble right away. And once
And
what?
also like there were similar how can I say similar situation created like few minutes before.
Yeah,
Like he was dribbling, but at the time the defensive midfielder, probably Tapia, who I don't know, he followed back and
yeah,
resolved the situation probably. And but the thing is that like at the time there were this gap between defense line and midfield line, and Neymar took full advantage of this thing, and well then
and as soon as Neymar got that space and got that ball and started dribbling, all Peruvians uh, basically go for Neymar while he has dribbled incredibly for that pitch. I mean, Neymar is having very good tournament, make no mistake about
yeah,
it.
of course.
And he passed the ball, and that ball was almost a ground pass, but that ball kind of bumped up because of the poor pitch, and Paqueta was in a position, and he just put the ball into the empty net. Um,
Well, for some reason it reminded me of the Rodrigo de Paul goal. It's quite similar.
yeah, for that against you're talking
Yeah,
about against Ecuador.
Ecuador in
Yeah,
Ecuador.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So after that goal happened, uh, Brazil almost. went back to harmless. Like,
I thought that after that goal, I thought it would be at least like 3-0 or 3-1 or something like this.
and
Uh,
I kind of thought, that is how Gareca actually exposed Brazilian flaws, because second half Peru was a better team. Yeah, they couldn't score.
Exactly.
There was one or two chances for Lapadula, and there were very fluid movements, but the pitch wasn't really suiting them for the ground short passing. And obviously they're missing Carrillo, who's a red
Yeah.
carded in the semifinal very harshly. Um, but I thought, they understood that Brazil will be dangerous in the flank. They have guarded flank very well. Neymar and Paquetas. There was a bit of circuit of passes going on, and they disrupted, especially Tapia and I believe whoever was on that Santa Maria, I believe. But there was a bit of change
Yeah.
on that team as well. But what
They
we can
actually changed
learn,
the shape
yeah,
after the break, and they went for some sort of
4-5-1
4-4-1-9.
ish
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah,
But what was interesting after that goal was that there they identified there is a circuit between Neymar and Paqueta,
yeah.
and they tried to cover their players around it to cut it off, and they were kind of successful. And I thought that's how Gareca kind of uh, showed the limitation. And once that Neymar and Paqueta's one-twos and circuit was broken, uh, there was almost nothing from Brazil. I was kind of very, very, Fred didn't really. I mean, he started almost all games, and he was replaced by Fabinho. But
Yeah.
Fabinho is not a huge ball player as well. Um,
And Fred is not also known for holding the ball for
no, no.
long time, and also
He
like
can be flashy at times, but he's
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. The thing is that um, the thing they were missing is like we talked about it, like a number eight.
yeah.
I don't know who could be, but
But I think Paqueta is
it's looking
doing a
yeah.
fairly good job of
Usually Neymar and Paqueta is like number 8, 10 kind of thing.
yeah.
Like
That's
they
that's
they
what
were
they're
shifting.
doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They were like shifting their positions to get things going. There were some like reckless movement by um, Richarlison,
yeah. Yeah,
and but he's
I don't understand about Richarlison, because I might be biased towards Firmino, but every time I see Richarlison, I don't understand other than the pace what he provides.
I don't know. Probably they want someone who can actually get back and defend for a while.
Okay, probably,
Nobody. Yeah, like it looks like
but
they
that's
were
a very
trying
negative
to.
way of thinking. If you
Yeah,
want
the
your
whole
main
tournament.
striker, who would be the upright person to come back and cover. And that probably is very pragmatism, because Neymar is going up, so someone needs to cover his space. But again, that's
But
uh,
Neymar is not, Neymar most of the time in the match he was in this sort of positions
right,
like
very deep.
moving. Yeah, so. He was kind of false nine in at some point, and but sometimes he were in the lone striking position, and sometimes he was dropping in the left. So I don't know. Like
I struggle to understand a little bit, because it's not that Brazilian bench doesn't have enough talent, such as Vinicius was not really used
exactly.
much. Why not throw Vinicius? I mean, if you're putting Neymar up there as a false nine, is just put him up there for 10-15 minutes. He has a fantastic season for last 2 years. Why not give the young man a little bit of chance and a little bit of free flowing football? I
Well,
think
since Tite took over, he has this favor to play Richarlison.
And
I don't
also
know totally why.
there is a local media pressure to use Brazilian league players such as Everton Ribeiro, Everton, some Douglas Luiz and players like that. And obviously we've missed a little bit of Gabigol or Gabriel Barbosa, who plays for Flamengo. So there's a little bit of pressure on Tite, and he trying to probably manage it as much as possible. But as we discussed, for Brazilian team, I mean, they were never in doubt. They were in a control, in some kind of autopilot sort of. They score a goal and somehow they are on autopilot mode, and the opposition doesn't look really threatening. Especially Chile was not really threatening, but Peru did manage to create whatever their limitation has with their personnel, but they try to at least test Ederson a little bit. And the other part, I was really, really surprised of using Thiago Silva rather than Eder Militao. I understand Thiago Silva is vastly experienced person and probably very dependent as well, but there is definitely lack of pace on that area. And Lapadula was, Lapadula, no disrespect to him, but he was turning Thiago Silva as left and right while he was dribbling against him. So Lapadula,
Also, Thiago Silva broke the defense line for like a couple of times. He was chasing him up front, Lapadula, and there were like space behind him, and um, probably um, Corzo.
Mhm.
He created
I
some
was really,
passes and
really impressed
around
with
like
Corzo, to be honest, and a
yeah.
little
He,
disappointed with Cueva because I know the guy is very, very talented, and he didn't contribute as much as I, kind
well,
of
actually,
expected.
that side of that part of we can as we can see like this part actually uh, he I would say like they were shifting the play towards right and
Yeah,
so he didn't have like much more players to pass the ball or and Casemiro was there like
yeah,
really close and
he was covering more
yeah
kind of
also like yeah also Marquinhos like he's probably he in his best form I guess Marquinhos
Marquinhos.
so
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
yeah so
And that Marquinhos actually makes whoever his partner is looks a way better than they actually are.
yeah, exactly. Hey, because when Thiago Silva was missing positions, like he was sometimes found there, yeah, he was covering up for him, and also sometimes Casemiro tracked back and tried to cover it up, and actually, like it would be, I don't know, you're like you were. I am also surprised to
Yeah.
not to see Militao enough. And
Who do you start in final against, such as someone very quick, such as Lautaro Martinez? Who do you
well,
start? Would you go with Thiago Silva, who
I
just
wouldn't.
won the Champions League, right?
Well, I wouldn't, but the thing is that thing is about Chelsea is so different with this team in Brazil. Normally, Chelsea last season they lined up with three
Three defenders, and
defense.
there's
Yeah,
Aspilicueta and there's Rudiger
yeah,
to support.
exactly.
Thiago Silva
So
was a more kind of central,
yeah, and the reality changes when the number of
and
defenders changes, and also like Chelsea.
Kante and
Yeah, exactly.
Jorginho.
Yeah, also like the players like Kante, Jorginho, there were like a five-man block in the middle,
Mhm, mhm.
so it's like really hard to score against them. It was actually,
So,
and
can we expect a little bit of more entertainment from Brazil? Probably, except, I mean, I don't see any kind of excitement other than Neymar and Paqueta, to be honest. I
Actually, it was a fun moment to watch. Actually, if you
yeah,
refer to
yeah, yeah,
the one twos between,
exactly.
it's
I
it's like,
really liked Neymar in terms of football.
and
That
I think like, uh, uh, I don't know if you remember, like, when they voted who is the best of all in Brazil.
hmm
Brazilian people actually voted for um, voted not for Pele, but for Garincha,
yeah, yeah. No, I
because because he was more entertaining than Pele. So like,
no
I would say like,
Garincha was probably the most underrated in terms of when we're talking about
also
all
like, yeah, he wasn't even discussed along with Socrates and the later generations like
although
Ronaldo.
Garrincha won that World Cup, that Pele was injured by
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
his own. Okay, that's a different discussion, but I'm talking about so far
No,
Neymar.
I was saying that like Brazilian people like would love to
Yeah,
see those moments more
yeah,
than
yeah,
scoring goals.
exactly.
I guess like it's
But
like
again,
they
again,
scoring
that
goals.
it depends on generations. Probably, I don't I follow a lot of Brazilian football as well in Copa Libertadores as well. Um, there are certain teams are fairly attacking, and most of the teams are not really. So it's a mismatch, and I think it could be a generation thing. But players like Neymar, you know, definitely excites anyone beyond borders. Um,
Well, yeah, like but the thing is that Brazilian people still wants you to play good, and then you can actually win the trophy.
yeah,
Like everyone like, it's a, how can I say, um,
yeah. No, I totally agree. I totally agree.
it's unexplainable, like, but the thing is that like they would love to see those moments more, like
Yeah,
rather
the
than
flashes of
scoring.
one-touch
Yeah,
football, a little bit of back
yeah,
heels here and there. I mean, I'm so used to even for 1994 World Cup team, there is a lot of Mario Zagallo, not Mario Zagallo, it was Luis
yeah, it
Alberto
was
Pereira.
Pereira, yeah.
He had a very defensive organization of Dunga and Gilberto Silva and all of that, but Romario, his touches were silk. Bebeto
Yeah.
was not probably very terrific player, but his passings and his contribution and movement was fantastic. You see the
They
wing,
were quick first, yeah, and
yeah, the one touches and
yeah,
little flicks here and there. So 94 team used to have that, and 98 was probably even better, like with Rivaldo, Ronaldo, and Danielson and everyone. Fast forward 2002, they won the cup for Brazil. 2006, there was definitely a little bit of dip or drop, but still it was entertaining. Brazilian team was fairly entertaining and very attacking. As the time went on, there was definitely at a point. I mean, obviously, there was Confederations Cup were won by them, but there's a regression as the time went on. People thought Pato would be very, very, great player. He didn't really stood up to that after Kaka, and Kaka's talent wise, he really didn't put it on the plate for Brazilian national team for long.
actually, yeah, actually also there is this reason he was like he was on the bench for Real Madrid most of the time, but he also had to leave AC Milan
Yeah.
because of the financial situation at the time for the club. So
Yeah, and yeah, Real Madrid, I could understand he would be sitting on bench because he's fairly creative player, and Jose Mourinho really didn't want that creativity. He wanted a player who could go into the war, and
yeah,
Kaka wasn't really suited at that Jose Mourinho's Real Madrid team. But yeah, coming back to this team, except I mean flashes of Neymar and a bit of probably Paqueta. Uh, all they do is coming from flanks and try to win it. And it's not even flanks such as Vinicius coming in and dribbling past 3 4 players. It's not even that. So I'm a bit of, although yeah they're winning it and they have won a lot. I think last time Brazil has lost in Brazilian soil was to 2014. I mean, in any competitive match is 2014, third place game against Netherlands 3-0, and they are unbeaten still. So it would be quite a challenge for their opposition to beat them. I'll quickly go to the other semifinals we've seen against Argentina and Colombia. Argentina started fairly brightly, as they've always done for this competition. Almost always they've gone.
Actually, there was this statistics on the screen. It says that last 20 of their, or no, last 14 matches, probably in 11 matches they scored first in the first half. So,
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. There were a few changes from that quarterfinal win against Ecuador because there was just 2 days break. Tagliafico came for Acuna, who was tired. That's what I heard. Nico Gonzalez basically started everything, and he was basically had a very specific job of following Cuadrado to the eternity, and which he did
yeah.
fairly well. But creatively, he was not really doing much, except he was guarding Cuadrado.
Uh,
Uh,
Also, he missed a few chances.
yeah, that's true
He
as
could have
well.
scored two goals.
Um, for Argentina, there was the other vital change was Guido Rodriguez, basically starting ahead of Leandro Paredes as a holding midfielder. Colombia's arguably best player of the tournament was Wilmer Barrios, and Barrios was managing fairly well. Although Lo Celso found Messi. Actually, Messi created with a solo run, created something, and Lautaro just you know couldn't put his header on the target.
Yeah.
But very soon, Lo Celso found a sublime pass with Messi, and he was basically turning back and found Lautaro was not marked, and Lautaro scored. But after that, as happened with Argentina, their level basically dropped kind of creativity, except Messi. They were more kind of focused on winning the balls, or there's a battle between in the midfield, especially. There was huge battle between Cuellar, Barrios, and Luis Diaz. I thought he played really well. Cuadrado was trying to get in as well, and there was a little bit of pressure, and as well as in the halftime, Rueda, the coach of Colombia, he basically revamped the team. He basically put up Luis Diaz, and Zapata was out of form, so he basically was replaced by Miguel Borja, and Cardona, the Boca Juniors creative midfielder, was introduced, um, and it was more like 4-3-3 with Munoz getting out and Cuadrado trying to get some sort of space from deeper side.
Mhm.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Actually, when I saw both of the semifinal, Brazil, uh, Peru as well as Colombia, they dared to, how can I say, um, changes into like more attacking formation and try to exploit this both of the finalist team. And um, I didn't actually expect it that much. Like I thought there would be some technical changes in the wings or something like this, but well, they went for it, and it's actually like
Yeah,
oh, it's actually their credit and how
yeah.
they hold them back and for the whole 90 minutes
And
and
I was, to be honest, a little bit. little bit question mark was on the left side because there Cuadrado operates, as well as Rafael Borges Santos, who's a very popular player in South America, especially plays for River Plate.
Yeah,
I couldn't understand Molina being replaced. I don't know if he was,
exactly.
and Montiel was even slower, and Luis Diaz, who
So
scored a blinder of a goal against Brazil with that
yeah,
bicycle kick, and
exactly.
Pazilla was, it was like everybody was,
Brazil was also slower at
yeah, and it was like almost you can say that that space was given to Neymar
yeah.
that by Peru, and
Mhm.
Cardona from deep he saw that and he basically put the ball over, and Luis Diaz scored a very very wonderful goal, outpacing Pizzella and beating Emi Martinez on the far post. So that
Yeah.
was a 1-1, and
It's like
obviously,
one of those like earlier theory Ori types of goal, and I liked it actually.
yeah.
Even
It was very good goal to be honest, and
yeah,
I like Luis Diaz a lot. I didn't know much about him, but now I know. But there was a rough treatment from the Colombian team towards Messi especially,
Lionel
and he
Messi,
was
yeah.
bleeding,
Uh,
and obviously there was no card was given to him. What
actually,
I
um,
found, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
actually, both um, uh, all the six cards were given against against foul against Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
But except for that one, it was clearly a yellow card.
And yeah, the Boca Juniors ex left back Frank Fabra basically
Yeah,
was a culprit. Uh, but what I was a little bit there was a little bit switch. Paredes came for Lo Celso, and
yeah,
I didn't see much. Like he's good at holding the ball, but he was slowing down a little bit the tempo of the game, which you don't want. But Di Maria really, after coming on, he dribbled past a lot of teams, a lot of players, and
Actually, the thing is that
Di Maria
d-
probably after 60 minutes he got that
yeah,
energy to run against
mhm,
kind of tired defense, or already tired defense or occupied defense by Messi, and
yeah,
he seems to be enjoying that.
yeah. And the thing is that I don't know, like Rodrigo De Paul, sometimes it felt like he was out of this game, and sometimes he's like so much into the game. And the when Argentina scored their first goal, they like they were kind of like giving away the position and try to holding it back and like chasing the ball in the midfield. There were some interesting like 1v1,
Hmm. Hmm.
for example, like with Guido, he was actually like kind of moving ahead sometimes,
Hmm.
and Rodrigo De Paul, and also Lo
Try to
Celso,
cover. Yeah.
yeah, they tried to cover, and he was playing um, uh, like an attacking midfielder at the time, and there were like and also sometimes like Lo Celso came up and in this position and
Yeah.
sorry, yeah.
No, no, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, like Lodge also came up in this position. It actually like gave Messi a little bit more space
Yeah.
in that side, and they were trying to cover it, and he actually won a few balls against Barrios, also like
Yeah.
Cardona, probably Queller.
It was yeah, it was somebody else as well, Queller,
Yeah,
yeah, the other midfielder.
yeah. So like, yeah, there were some. Um, 1v1 owned by Argentina, but they went for quick transition, and like they were, I don't know, for some reason they were in a hurry to score another goal, and like in
Yeah,
few
as
minutes,
if as
and
if they have
like
30 minutes, not
yeah, exactly,
not 90
exactly,
minutes. Either
exactly,
they have to score two goals by
and
30 minutes and then
already
sleep.
Colombia is playing in like really high tempo, and normally the team who is like in ahead, they try to slow it down or
Yeah, slow it
probably
down
try
and
to.
then all of a sudden change of pace with certain
Yeah,
players in
yeah,
space.
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was very very interesting. And then obviously in second half, Colombian coach came up with a different strategies, and Luis Diaz was found with a pocket of space against Petzela. Petzela is not really playing well. He plays is captain of Fiorentina, and Fiorentina actually ended up in 15th position. In Syria. I
Mhm.
couldn't understand why you didn't really use the other Atalanta um, defender who was really not even into the squad, or say for example Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah,
Um,
Lisandro Martinez was playing really well. Like I actually expected him to play in this match.
okay.
Because
Well,
I don't know, because for some reason
that's
I
your
don't like.
kind of expectation, but Lionel Scaloni seems to um, for some odd reason, he was favoring Lucas Martinez Porta, and once his form dipped, it was kind of Petzela. Similar thing can be found, Nico Gonzalez, except probably
Exactly.
running and giving him a little bit of width on that. For me, he doesn't do much, or doesn't participate enough, or he has that um, rush of a player who.
I don't know when he uh, get a free shoot to score. I don't know, for some reason he was like, it feels like he is going to have a stroke for like a stroke out of. I don't know, like he would get a brain stroke and probably die there or something like this. It's he he was so much into rush, like I have to score this goal and go back to my wife or children and stuff.
Yeah, or world is going to end or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I really don't understand why Jose Maria, is it Jose Maria? Is it Jose Luis Palomino wasn't really given any kind of match time to see how good he is. I can guarantee that he's speedier than Petzela, or physically more proactive. Anyway, Champions League experience that didn't really count in here. Um, Coming back to that game, and it went into the penalties, and Emi Martinez come up with really really heroics right there, and I haven't really seen anything. Well, there might be a lot of trash talk happens in the penalty
well,
shootout, but it was very very audible because there was no fan around, and he was actually talking even when the other players were even taking the kick. That includes yeah, there was a flurry of, and um, there's an advantage from Colombia Uruguay penalty shootout. He has read the players where they're going to shoot, and he was playing with their head, and they basically, when somebody is psychologically disturbed, they normally go with their safest option, and the safest option is when they're more used to take it to the left, and they've taken the shot towards left, and um, basically Emmy able to save three of them. That's a lot of penalty to be saved, to be honest. I mean, uh,
actually, for me, I was like I was basically like lying on my bed, and it was like really late in the night, and I was like uh, kind of hoping to like get it done, like, or get it
sooner,
like
yeah.
yeah, get so that I could actually get back to my sleep and stuff. And when he started talking, I was like, wait, what is he doing?
Yeah.
I just
And it started, I think, from the second shot. He was
yeah.
very close to Cuadrado's one, very close. It went in,
Mhm.
but from after Messi's goal, Messi came up to him and said probably something, and then he charged up, and he was in a different zone. He started
And
talking.
and when he was talking, and I was like, wait, he was what he was doing, and it
And
felt like
it wasn't
I'm.
really like an insult as well. It's a mix of, you can friendly insult sort of thing, very kind of trash talk when you talk about.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
talking to Yerry
And
Mina.
Mina was actually replying back, and
He
I
was,
thought,
yeah.
yeah, and that's it actually for him because he actually
And
played his
that
game.
especially Yerry Mina's one. He
Yeah,
was saving and while he was talking, which is kind of incredible. Um, yeah, he was talking. I'll eat you up, brother, or something like that. Um, Look how I save it, or something like that. Anyway, good for Emi
and
Martinez after so many
also
years in Arsenal. He finally got the first place in Argentina shirt, and there was a time there was a bit of confusion about Amy Martinez being number one, or Armani of River Plate being one, and I was kind of, are you joking? I mean, how can
Premier League player,
Armani
yeah,
be in the same bracket of comparison with Emi Martinez? Because everybody know in England that he's a very, very good keeper, although he has probably waited for 8 to 9 years for Arsenal to get some sort of playing time. But yeah, good for him, and he definitely took them to the final. Um,
and also one more thing, when he was trash talking, it reminded me Jose Luis Chilavert.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I haven't seen like any aggressive goalkeeper for a while, and it took me to my childhood.
Yeah, now Chilavert is definitely one of I cannot remember any other goalkeeper of his aura or his stamina, from especially from South America. He could have taken any challenge. He could have scored as well. So
He was
and
taking free kicks and stuff.
and also, yeah, after, well, Sergio Romero saved some penalties, even in Copa finals, and also in World Cup semifinals. But Sergio Romero, you don't really trust the guy for some reason. He has played for as a number one for a long time for Argentina, but you kind of thought that there is some kind of mistake with him around the corner, and it's going to happen. For some reason, I always had that feeling for with Sergio Romero. But yeah, credit to him. He kept very well for whatever time he has kept. But
Yeah,
it
actually, he considered the same amount of goal as Manuel Neuer in 2014. The
oh, they
Argentina
had a very, very
considered four
compact,
goals.
they had a very compact team on that particular World
Mhm.
Cup. But yeah, coming back to the Argentine keeper, that reminds me of Sergio Goycochea, who in 90s World Cup he was probably the best player for Argentina, although there Maradona and Caniggia was there, but he took them to the finals. And there's how
Yeah,
many how many the, how many penalty shootout did he won? Was
two or three, I guess, because
Yeah, second round was against Brazil. It was a lot
yeah,
of ball was cover, coming towards his way. He had to make some saves. The bar, hit on the post and hit on the crossbar. The next game was against Czechoslovakia. That went into the penalties. He won them.
yeah,
Uh, Italy, he won them
Italy. That is the
in
most
penalty.
ironic one.
Yeah, and there's some shooters like Donadoni couldn't score.
Yeah,
Um, and also, I think in final he was very, very close. He had a fingertips on the Andres Bremer penalty, but it went in anyway. Um, yeah, good stuff. I probably forgot about Carlos Roa in '98, but Carlos Roa was a very not really known for very good goalkeeping.
yeah.
Although he won them against England. So in final we talked about who actually can beat Brazil, and we talked about if there is any team can do that probably Argentina. But how do you feel about it? Is Brazil still overwhelmingly favorite? Although we're not going to take into consideration that refereeing and video refereeing as well. There is a lot of question marks, especially Brazil's win against Colombia. There was outrage of Brazil versus Chile game, outrage of Vidal. He came up and talked. There's an outrage of a Peruvian midfielder Tapia. So whoever played against Brazil, there is a bit of complaint about refereeing and the quality of refereeing. But we're not going to talk about refereeing at this point. But as a team, do you think Brazil is beatable?
Well, they are actually, but I don't know if Argentina can play at this level for like 90 minutes because
He,
to be honest,
what I
they
thought, you don't actually need 90 minutes to beat this Brazil. I mean, uh, all you have to do is what, score a few goals and break the circuits of Paqueta and Neymar. Sounds simple, but it's a lot of work in the field. And also maybe Neymar has the habit of losing his mind when he's agitated. Maybe use Emi Martinez to trash talk him. Uh, just
well,
uh,
that
just
could be done by Otamendi also. Like he's
or
also my favorite person.
Paredes.
Yeah.
Um, but what I have put a kind of a tactical board thinking of this final. I was just predicting the way they have played.
Well,
It,
there is one more thing I would add. The thing when Brazil and Argentina they have some great games. Also, they have some ugly ones, and
yes,
I'm actually like worried about this sort of situation, like how they played the semi-final, both of the teams, and I'm actually worried about when the final is fixed. I have been actually thinking it could be an ugly game in the
yes.
end. I don't know.
And just to
So
remind, there's five finals lost by Argentina.
mhm.
Somehow Argentine character when we are talking about Diego Maradona and others, they used to be strong Argentine character that comes into life when Traversity comes in, right? But fairly recently there's a drought on that, especially when coming into the final. There's lack of character, there's lack of um, imposing against the opponents, and Brazil have beaten Argentina in Copa America 2003 or 4, 2004. I think it was very last moment Adriano scored, and then it went
Oh,
to the
it's
penalties.
in 2007, I guess.
No,
Uh,
7. It was 3-0.
oh, oh,
I'm talking
7 it
about
was
the
finished.
previous version. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
Delgado scored 1-0.
yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah.
Tevez and somebody else was wasting time on the corner flag, and somehow ball slipped, and Coloccini missed it. It was 1-1,
Mhm,
and then it
yeah.
went to the penalties, and Brazil won. It was actually B Brazilian almost B team that won that competition, and Bielsa went to probably the deepest
Coma.
low of his entire footballing career. And then that 2007, that 3-0 win, the very first after kickoff, Brazil scored the first goal. Although Brazil was not really convincing up to that final, and Argentina were flying. They've scored probably 3 or 4 goals against Mexico.
Yeah.
In between, there's a Argentina-Brazil final in Confederations Cup in 2005 as well. That's the last time Argentina scored any goal at all. Brazil won 4-1. The last final that any Argentine scored was Pablo Aymar. Right now, he's an assistant coach sitting on the bench. So it is that long that Argentina didn't score in regulation time in the final. Um, I just created this tactical board, assuming this is going to be the team. Still, there is a bit of concern about Christian Romero. I don't know if he's fit or not fit, or is it Atalanta that is pushing? to not play him because there's a bit of risk of having an injury. I'm assuming Atalanta might be selling him. Otherwise, they're probably not
Yeah.
going to push as much. Other than that, I think the team is fairly set up, although I would like to see more of either in Lo Celso's place whenever he's subbed, or even in Nico Gonzalez's place. Probably, I want to see Papu Gomez, but it's probably not going to happen. Um, Other than that, I mean, Argentine team looks fairly settled. I put back Acuna because I thought he's ready to go. Although Tagliafico did play fairly well on that semifinal.
Yeah. Yeah. He make like he went back and forth a couple of
Yeah,
time, and he didn't miss the position, so
and
he played
also he had
really
very
well.
good connection with these two, Lo Celso and Nico Gonzalez. So yeah, I don't mind actually Acuna or Tagliafico seeing them,
Yeah.
but Lo Celso, there was a very good pass from him for that development of that goal. It was brilliant from Lo Celso, but he's about a little bit of flashes here and there, and he was taken off because of he was on a yellow card as well.
Mhm.
So I'm fairly sure Lautaro is going to start and Messi is going to play, and probably De Paul is going to play as well. Otamendi is definitely starting. Emi Martinez, you cannot drop him after that penalty tiebreaker. I am still assuming Guido probably would play. It could be Paredes too.
Actually, um, actually, I have been thinking like most likely Lionel Scaloni will go for Paredes. I
And
don't
I
know.
could understand that too. Um, Guido, although a very technically good player,
Mhm.
he's not really verbally abusive. You need a bit of instigation on that field. Uh,
Yeah,
so I can.
but I think it's because someone he wants someone to I don't know open up about Neymar.
Yeah,
Uh, so
it could be.
I don't know.
I totally can see it, but I think Fred is going to start for some reason for Brazilian midfield.
Yeah.
And if you see this midfield, just on that midfield, nothing else. I know Neymar is going to be here, and as well as Messi too. And we talked about Neymar and Paqueta's bit of circuitry of passing, but
Mhm.
there's if you take off Guido, Paredes, De Paul, Messi, and Lo Celso's, this circuit of passing is actually brilliant when it gets going, and it normally happens in the first half,
Yeah.
back and forth, and that's when probably Argentina is the most dangerous, and also Messi linking up with Lautaro. But this is the quarter they're basically going to try to create, and I think Casemiro's job would become or Fred's job would become and try to cancel
Yeah.
those circuits. Um, but yeah, it could be Paredes too here instead of Guido. Um, but yeah, Messi. I'm pretty sure for Messi they will have someone sitting up fairly deep, and I wouldn't be surprised if Brazil start like 4-4-2.
Mm,
And I'm not even
Actually,
sure about Firmino because I don't think um, I don't think Tite likes Firmino. I think I like Firmino. That's why I put it. But it could be Gabriel Barbosa or Everton or somebody else
I think he wouldn't actually change the
winning.
semifinals,
Yeah.
yeah, winning combination. So
So yeah,
uh,
let me rectify that. So I go back to 19 Everton. Um, yeah. And I was a little bit of hesitant. If I was the coach, would I go for Militao or would I go for Thiago Silva? But if you're saying that,
who would
and I
you
th- I think I
go
think
for?
it makes a lot of sense. He'd probably go for Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so for this looks like starting 11 for both of the team, and
yeah,
I guess there would be a change in Guido or Parades. So
yeah,
I don't
just
know.
okay. Yeah, it
So
could be Paredes too. Somehow
more
I
or less, yeah.
yeah,
But this would be an interesting battle there with Neymar, De Paul, um,
and
Molina,
whoever
Neymar
starts, I
captain.
just
Yeah,
say I just thought there's no way you can start Montiel
yeah,
on the right flank because you're then playing with 10 men right away. And if
yeah.
if if it's Petzela on this side, it's instantly there's Richarlison also will start attacking on that side, um, and Neymar and probably Lodi will flood too. So
Mhm.
if that happens, there's a bit of and that's why I thought maybe Di Maria is not a bad option to start instead of Nico Gonzalez uh,
Mm,
on that flank.
actually, uh, actually, I
It
don't
could
know.
be Angel Correa or Di
Because
Maria. Uh,
Korea would be a great choice actually, in one sense, and another sense like if they want to block these links between Neymar and Paqueta.
yeah, Paqueta will be
So
more kind of centrally moving.
yeah, yeah.
He'll,
So it
he'll
would be
drift
like yeah,
he'll
yeah,
drift down on that side.
yeah. So the thing is that like Richarlison probably would be there. I don't know, like it depends
Yeah,
sometimes.
he can drag some players, and Richarlison. What I've seen so far, he goes for the space, and whenever he couldn't find space, he goes wide, to create
Yeah,
some space for Neymar coming in.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It would be, and in one sense, Argentina would go for Korea, and
I would
another,
have. I mean, if I was a coach, I was looking at this setup of a Brazilian team. I would have, but I still think there is something very obsessive about Nico Gonzalez bombarding
yeah,
this space, and I couldn't see that as well because this probably
and
is the
one
weakest
one
link
more
of Brazil, Danilo.
exactly. Also, Brazil actually didn't seem to attack this side, so there weren't actually much attack in
And
this
also
flank.
this might be a good option to bring Casemiro towards here, so you can probably create a little bit of space here over there.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know, like Nico Gonzalez. Nico Gonzalez is
I
not
wouldn't
the
mind
attacker.
actually if Argentina went for 4-2-3-1.
Actually, it worked out well against Bolivia, and we talked about it, like Korea creating some space over there,
Mhm.
and
And you can have Messi bypass this line of defense rather than he'll face probably aging Thiago Silva, which and
yeah,
Marquinhos. He can still do damage over this area. But all you need is to create a bit of space for Messi over this area, as well as drag Casemiro towards more kind of so if you can give Danilo a um, very hard time, Casemiro will
mhm,
come and try to protect him, and that would create a little bit of space over here.
yeah. Um, Actually, I don't know, like, but the thing is that what we are thinking, like, uh, uh, we are thinking as a coach now, but the coaches like they would probably go for this squad,
Yeah,
like this
no, I
11.
totally get it.
And the thing is that I wouldn't mind here if we see Papu Gomez because he was receiving those crosses from Messi
Yeah,
from that side,
yeah,
this side actually,
yeah,
and this is actually even sometimes we saw Danilo he when he was actually overlapping he couldn't actually come back and
yeah,
there were some
exactly.
spaces so Messi could create those balls from here going down from there and
Yeah, but
Also,
by
like
by
Lo
far,
Celso,
by
yeah,
far,
also Lo Celso, we have seen Lo Celso played those passes,
yeah,
so
true.
it wouldn't be Lionel Messi. And again, like when Argentina after 1-1, Argentina were trying to um, get it back on the game, back ahead. Um, at the time, they weren't actually thinking about Lionel Messi most of the time. There were some attacks without involving
Yeah,
Lionel Messi.
yeah, but
So
eventually, all the goals. I mean, most of the goals, Messi is involved somehow.
yeah, no, I was thinking about this second ball because so far I can understand that Casemiro will play on that side actually instead of this side.
I can see that because of Messi.
And he would probably chasing Messi like up front and here and try to like slow down those passes from there to there and I don't know like he would do that. So in the end they need someone who can make those passes or something similar to open up the spaces
Yeah.
here or
Actually,
behind Danilo.
at this game I wouldn't even mind having Di Maria probably even started and go against Thiago Silva. That would be interesting.
Actually, they I don't know for some Brazil won't change their center back. That's for sure. And
And I think that's
after
back
60
line.
after 60 minute after 60 minute it would be a, I guess
If they're up front, they will make some
yeah,
they'll make some defensive switches. Um,
yeah,
that's what I saw from Tite. It's very very predictable, very pragmatic. They don't play that extravagant football other than Neymar. But what
mm,
what I was thinking of, there are a lot of weak links in Brazilian team, and definitely this Danilo's side is definitely one of them. He could
yeah,
be a vulnerable player. Thiago Silva, with his age, can be a little bit of vulnerable, especially up against Lautaro, and Marquinhos
mhm,
are obviously going to help. The other part, I was really really confused if he starts Fred, which he started most of the time. Fred
yeah.
can be a little error prone as well if he's been pressed very well.
Yeah, and we saw actually Deepol and Lo Celso were tracking down ball
Yeah,
in the semis, and if they can do that, actually they could make some more pressure on Casemiro. Casemiro wouldn't probably Casemiro probably is the best player in the midfield, I guess, like
he can cut off,
comparing the both of the
cut
team.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But
but but
what I'm thinking is, I can I can almost guarantee that a Brazilian. I didn't see much pressing from them so far.
mm,
So to get the ball back from on this area to up here, I don't see there will be a problem because they will be more kind of compact on the lines, the the players.
yeah, four eight people's line. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So something like that there will be more kind of what I'm assuming, and they do respect Argentina a little bit more than others. So yeah, there could be some interesting lines. So and Messi has to probably come back.
But do like how do you think Argentina can stop Neymar and Paqueta links and probably Neymar attacking in the left or probably from the center?
Well, Neymar is normally roam around in these channels. So your two midfielders here becomes your assets right there to cut it off. Also the center backs coming up and squeezing the space is also important. But if if they can somehow play those 1-2s, Neymar has space up front, and that's an
Yeah,
advantage for him. and that might be a real problem. A little bit of lack of pace here. Say, for example, if it was Romero,
Mhm.
he could have been it could have been fantastic. But if Neymar gets the space, then there probably is going to be danger for Argentina. But if somehow Neymar is getting refused, squeezed in by these blocks of players, it's hard to maintain. I don't see Brazil any other way other than the wing backs crossing. I didn't see
Yeah.
them any other way of attacking.
Actually, there aren't any aerial threat, at least from the open play.
Well, yeah,
And
yeah, you're kind of
in
right.
set pieces, I would
Set pieces,
say,
yeah, Casemiro and
yeah,
and,
I
and
would say like Casemiro or
Marquinhos, Thiago
Marquinhos,
Silva
yeah,
even.
sometimes, yeah, Thiago Silva. They are actually like more threatening than Argentine players, I
Well,
guess. But
except probably Romero if he plays.
uh,
But
yeah,
yeah, no, you're
and
absolutely right.
except for that, in another sense, if Messi could manage a free kick uh, there around in this box area, so he would be deadly there. We have seen
Yeah,
this even in this tournament, so
yeah,
I don't know.
and
Like,
for sure there will be some horrible challenges, like, against Messi
yeah,
from
it would
Casemiro.
be.
You can write that off right now, but and that then comes the refereeing, and I don't expect a very good refereeing, to be honest, even from
Exactly,
VAR.
and if the both team comes down to like 10 men or like 9 men, I wouldn't actually like be surprised.
Yeah, that could
So
happen. And when you say there is
uh,
Paredes, I think he's more emotional. He'll lose control, such as Otamendi.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, it could be ugly too.
Uh, yeah, same as Neymar also.
Yeah, Neymar.
Probably
I think Argentines
probably
probably
Richarlison
want
also.
to probably want
Yeah,
to give him a little bit of, because he can lose temper very well. If he's feeling, I've seen so many times with Neymar when he was in Barcelona or even in the
mhm.
PSG. If he loses his mind or loses concentration, it's all about him. He doesn't play for the team. He almost plays against his team.
Yeah,
Sometimes he comes up with, because he's a genius. Sometimes he comes
mhm.
up with some very fantastic solo goals, but in most of the times it bites back to the team. And if Neymar is unsettled, um, I really don't see where the Brazilian goal is coming, other than because Paqueta's goal are coming from Neymar.
Yeah. I don't know. Like there are yeah. Also there like we talked. There are sources from set pieces like corners
Yeah,
or
yeah,
probably
or the
long
free
free kicks.
kicks, and yeah, yeah.
And other than that, there aren't threat from Brazil, and except from Lionel
Well,
Messi.
except I should mention Firmino. Uh, he can change.
Yeah,
He can change it in if he comes in here and operates here. That is, and he has those clever touches and flicks, and he can
yeah,
play the
yeah, yeah.
hold the ball and until the run comes in. He can be a very good threat in air too. He had some very good
Yeah.
headers. So so there is that, but when the game starts, there is not much threat, and I would be really surprised if I see Firmino up front rather than Richarlison.
Mhm. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
that was
both of the
my
coaches.
kind of way
Mhm.
or interpreting, and whatever I've seen so far from
Yeah,
Brazil.
yeah. The thing is that like both of the coaches, they are a little bit defensive, I guess.
Very
And
conservative, let's say
yeah,
that. Especially, I totally agree with you about Argentine coach. Especially he has those fantastic starts, but and after that they stopped playing. But what was interesting against Colombia was, as soon as Di Maria came in, there was a bit of spark. and also a little bit more attack from Messi needs one or two extra bodies to attack, and sometimes he doesn't need them as well. But still, it is always
But
beneficial.
also we can there is a possibility where also we can see like these both of the team actually is playing holding themselves back and
Yeah, it could happen
play
too.
for the extra
And it
play for the extra
depends on
time.
the pitch as well, because pitch has not really helped so far
But
for the Copa America, and makes sense when Brazil was not really ready because before, well, let's say for example 10, 12 days. And I wanted to touch base on Lautaro. He's a very
he scored 3 goals actually in last 3 matches.
he's
So
another sort of guy. You don't know. He could score or he could miss. Uh, his penalty, I thought, after that miss, that open net, and he took it first time. He could have taken another touches or even pass it back to Di Maria. His effort was saved on the line by Barrios, and then I thought with the Lautaro, I thought he would be frustrated, and Scaloni tried to get Aguero ready for the penalty kick, but it was all over. Final whistle happened, and then Lautaro came in and scored a fantastic, penalty. He
yeah,
definitely wasn't rattled, but he could miss some very easy chances, which seems, but he could score also. But yeah, but he definitely works hard as a front end number nine, and I'm fairly sure that Nico Gonzalez is going to start. Uh, I I don't know. It could be a very interesting game, but as I pointed out, that this Brazil team has a lot of weak links. It looks like they're solid, but they're not as solid. I mean, not the opponents or the field or the referee bad calling have made sure that they have won so far everything. Um, and it almost looked like they can go to the fourth gear, but they don't go there. They always operate in second gear. Like after they definitely score on fourth gear and then come back into second gear, and that's autopilot mode. Um, I don't think Argentina without Christian Romero is the same defensive solid team. I think Romero does what Marquinhos does for Brazil. He
yeah.
makes his partner better, but he missed two games, quarterfinals and semifinals. I don't know if it would be same for him to come back and basically deliver against Brazil.
Well, that's an uncertainty, but normally
But
selector like
he's definitely way better than German Petzela.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I would love to see him also like on the left flank. I would love to see Papu Gomez. So far, I don't know. For some reason, he is
For
like
some
a,
reason, Papu
he's like a
Gomez is thought of as an not the not the player to start, or even I've seen several times Nico Gonzalez is taken off, but Di Maria comes on because of his speed and dribbling ability, which I understand. But again, I'd love to see even for in place of Lo Celso, he could operate in that midfield area and can create a lot of chances, because I've seen so much of Papu Gomez, especially in Atalanta. I remember he was controlling 80 minutes of the game against Juventus, Ramsey,
yeah.
Rabiot, and Matuidi, and yeah,
Also, also like I follow his social
yeah,
media
he's a very
and
entertaining guy. Yeah.
he's very entertaining guy, and I don't think like I don't think in the final match pressure or something like this, it wouldn't actually affect a player like him. So
And the
he's
other
like
reason I
playing
like him
for
is
fun, and
because there are a lot of times Argentine players, or even for example Barcelona players, they don't
yeah,
shoot on the goal. They wait for Messi or to pass back sometimes.
Mm.
They try to go through Messi every time. With Papu Gomez, I've seen he provides the right passes, but he's not afraid of taking chances.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
his chances, I mean, this two goals he scored, especially against Paraguay, was a fantastic chip and a fantastic goal against Bolivia. It's not an easy. No goalkeeper would have saved that. As well as
Also,
he
also
got that
he
penalty,
receives, yeah,
and
also he receives the ball, those balls
we
from
forget the
Lionel Messi.
second
Like,
goal that was against Paraguay that was ruled out for offside. He was creating
yeah,
that for as well. So for me, it's a simple game. It's a matter of how many goals you can score and how many attacking players with merit you can field and create chaos towards so-called very solid defense. They would crumble too because of the intelligence and ball movement and having more threat going into the box. Um, that's just my point of view. But I don't think Scaloni would put Papu Gomez unless Argentina are 3-0 down for after 30-40 minutes. I don't think there will be Papu Gomez for us. But yeah, so far,
that's unfortunate actually. Like,
yeah, yeah.
that's what we do actually
And now
most of
that's
the
why
time.
I would have almost liked him playing for Italy, probably under Mancini. He could have done that too. I mean,
Yeah.
he's an Italian citizen
Also, like he could have actually played in the Insignia's position.
and way
Yeah.
better. He could have been balling
Yeah, way
around.
better. Yeah.
I almost think that he would have been a perfect fit for that Italian side. Um, and Italy is missing someone like no disrespect to Insigne, I love him. I'm a fan actually of Insigne as well, but still, I mean, Papu would have been an upgrade definitely.
Yeah.
Um, anything else to add on that final?
So, like, what is your prediction for the
I
final?
I I, I don't go for a prediction. Who does that prediction anyway? Um, Joao Bolsonaro, the Brazilian president, just predicted it will be
Mm.
5-0 for Brazil. So I'd like to congratulate Brazil for that, winning Copa America 2021.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and if Argentina comes with a victory, that would be interesting. But yeah, there is I hope for a very good game, and but it could be ugly one as you mentioned.
Well, yeah, that's my fear actually. Like, since Argentina won the semifinal, I have been actually thinking about it lately, and I have seen those games and
Yeah.
it didn't actually feel well, and
No.
also like, yeah,
And also
and
with this
probably
this Brazilian team, you could see that too. Yeah.
also, yeah, also from Argentina side there, if they start with Paredes and also
Nicolas
Otamendi, they,
Otamendi.
yeah, they
The,
could actually lose it, yeah.
yeah. Oh well.
So,
Oh, we hope for a very
well,
good final.
and also like, yeah, also like one of the reason is like, even if like a simple decision from referee, and yeah, we have seen players fighting each other in the middle of the pitch,
And
especially
again,
in the final.
yeah, coming back to the referee,
Yeah,
the consensus, even from Uruguayan League or whoever see Uruguayan League or the South American League officiated by this particular referee, they can't believe he got that final because he's almost like a clown. And there was Spanish referee officiating in the Copa America, especially if you remember Gil Manzano.
yeah.
He was officiating Uruguay versus Colombia quarterfinal. But yeah, I don't know why they went for this particular referee. But even though you know, I just hope that that's a good game and let the best team to be on rather than the controversy like last time 2019 Argentina versus Brazil had a bit of controversy of and Messi coming out
Yeah,
vocal about it. That could happen again.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. We'll definitely follow up on what's going on. And there's another game of Peru versus Colombia as for the third place that will be played tomorrow, I believe. But yeah, we're not going to talk much about it. I don't think both of the teams are taking that game too seriously. It could be a reserve team. It could be very entertaining. Sometimes there is no pressure. So, uh,
yeah.
but
I hope so.
yeah. There's on the side note, there's a lot of expectation and a lot of um, because I grew up in Bangladesh and Brazil Argentina is always a matter of rivalry as well as some nasty fights. And I've got the news there's 4 or 5 people already been injured in certain part of Bangladesh, which doesn't make
I
sense.
wish Neymar and Messi knows.
Well, it doesn't make sense because Messi went on signing the tattoo of a Brazilian fan, and Brazilian fan
Yeah.
loves Messi. If you see there his Instagram followers,
Actually,
there's
they were actually rooting for Argentina when in the 2014 final.
yes, yes, but yeah,
So
exactly. So yeah, there's a bit of fight and injury. So I hope that people get some sense back and enjoy the game, but not fight, not because I've seen so much craziness that people actually killed each other. So I really hope that nobody kills each other, and I know everybody.
actually, like two of my friends, they actually stopped talking to each other for a while. I don't know, for months,
Well, I've seen
because
divorce
of Brazil.
happening. I've seen divorce happening. I've seen worse things like the bigger flags one has like if Argentine
Yeah,
fans comes with bigger flags and Brazilian fan has to come up with even bigger flags and why somehow there will be fight with that which is very silly but yeah I really hope nobody loses life or any kind of non life threatening sort of injury
yeah,
especially under
especially
COVID
that. Yeah,
sort of situation.
the situations in Bangladesh so far I heard like it's not well actually.
No, it's not. And the last thing you want is to kill each other because someone supports Argentina or someone supports Brazil. I know it's a little bit of laugh. I'm laughing a little bit, but yeah, that happens a lot.
Well,
Not
that's
just in
reality
Bangladesh, part
actually.
of India too. That happens a lot. Anyway, on that note, hoping for a very enjoyable final, and we'll be talking about Euros very soon as well. Till then, uh, take care.